Cough, hack, splutter. Hello, people, and welcome to the end of the beginning of the show to the end. It is not the end. How's everybody doing today? I know I'm doing all right. How about you, Pad Save?
I am doing swell.
Swell, eh?
Yes.
Uh,
I didn't think it warranted fantabular, but
fair
swell.
enough. So, before the show, we were just talking about the fact that you were recently at Comic-Con.
Yes.
Oh, Snapples. How was that?
It wasn't too bad. It was actually kind of my first real Comic-Con or any real big convention, so I kind of walked into this not really knowing what to expect, but we ended up getting weekend passes and we picked up some nifty artworks and
Nice.
Yeah.
So this was there's a couple of Comic-Cons. I'm guessing this was, where was it being held?
This was in Winnipeg. It's called C4. It's Central Canada Comic Con, or Comic and Pop Culture Convention and Expo.
Yeah, I think
It depends on what they're classifying it this year.
Right. I think Comic-Con has a similar thing where it's technically called something significantly longer than Comic-Con. It's just sort of been shortened to Comic-Con by popular culture. Like in the same way that PAX is technically the Penny Arcade Expo, but has since just been shortened to PAX by everyone because it's, easier to say and a little bit more catchy and stuff. But so yeah, you were at Canada Comic-Con, and you said that you actually met some pretty cool people and got some pretty cool things there. You mind filling us in on some of these interesting and excellent little things?
Yeah, I actually got a photo, so I'm just going to try to gazzo it that way. If you want to pop.
Oh yeah, I'll pop that up so our glorious
kind of
viewers can see it as well.
No, but the first cool thing is I ended up getting a print signed by a Mr. John Delancey.
I have heard of this gentleman.
Yeah, he was actually a really neat guy to talk to, because of there was a line and there were people trying to talk, get stuff and talk to him and all that. So we didn't get to sit down and talk for any long periods of time, but it was the standard, hey, what do you do? And told him, and he was like, oh, that's kind of neat. Tried to press for a little bit more information, so I gave him a little bit more. But then he asked my other half what she did. And she just kind of meekly says, I work at a grocery store. He's like, oh, so you're a produce specialist. I was like, yeah, I guess so. And then he starts asking, so, if I want to know about, what are the best apples, I come to you, right? And I was like, well, we don't really have a whole lot of, fresh apples here because, we get all of it imported. I try to help around, but, the town we're from, west of here, there's potato farms everywhere. It's a big potato area. I was like, oh, so, you can tell me all about the potatoes. It's like, yeah. It's like, oh, that's really nice. So it was just, being able to just chat with them. And it felt kind of weird just talking to him. It's like, because you're famous. You're on, you've been in
everything.
Countless productions from, Star Trek. I want to say Stargate. My Little Pony. I'm pretty sure he's been on Broadway because all the big actors normally are.
He was in Torchwood. He was in Breaking Bad. He was in he's been everything. He has done all sorts of things. He did an entire series with Leonard Nimoy where they read classic literature together. For schools and stuff. The dude has done everything. He's kind of amazing, but he's also apparently really friendly. That's awesome. I'm so happy to hear that.
And then, what is it? The other thing we got signed is my other half got a giant map poster of Middle Earth and got it signed by Graham McTavish.
Sweet.
And it wasn't just kind of a normal two person from celebrity. He actually wrote at your service.
Oh, that's cute. That's really cute. I really like that.
It really made her day. And I don't think we got to talk to him as long, just because they were the Hobbit group of people. They were like, there wasn't really a huge line for them, but they were just kind of like, I don't know,
Cool.
almost like the super celebrities of the group.
Aye.
Because I don't know if you've ever seen like an autograph alley or whatever, and they have like all the tables kind of side by each.
Yeah, yeah.
They had the Hobbit guys in like their own section of tables that were like, I want to say like 20 feet away from the rest of the tables.
Oh man, just so they could have like a more like crazy line for them.
Yeah, and because they had like the VIP line and the regular line for that table, like it almost kind of snaked back and forth when the line got like super long, where everybody else was just kind of like a straight through.
Oh no, totally. Like, if you ever get the chance to go to BronyCon, like you will find the autograph like panels, like the things where they have like the voice actors and stuff. Like the lines go around the convention hall, like they are enormous. Like I always make a point of visiting the IDW comic teams, and the line for Andy Price, who does the a lot of the art for the main comic series, and who will do custom like little $10 sketches for people. Like the line for him is incredible. Like it is ridiculous. And I always find it kind of sad because I always go there and I want to talk to all of them, so I'll like sit in the line for them, and I'll go from the line for Andy Price, and then I'll finish with Andy Price, and then just sort of like make a little circle, talk to Katie Cook, talk to Heather Breckle, talk to like whatever other artists happen to be around, and there's like no line for them. They're just sort of hanging out, and they'll just talk with you for like 10 minutes because whatever, everyone's there for Andy. And it's a little bit sad, but they're such nice people, and it's so wonderful to just be able to like chit chat.
Can I interrupt to say hi?
Oh, hey, Nani!
Hi.
Hi.
Welcome to the show.
I've just been hiding here since the Spuds conversation.
Oh, wonderful. Actually, hold on. I'll take this brief pause in the conversation to answer a quick question from the chat. White Oak was asking about the Penny Arcade Expo, asking like he thought that Penny Arcade was a web series. That is the interesting thing. Penny Arcade is a webcomic, but one that has become so unbelievably popular and influential that they now have not one but two major conventions. They actually might even have three at this point that are so big in the games industry that they've actually replaced E3 as like the big main like conventions for video games. And yeah, despite that, they are still just essentially a webcomic, just a giant multi-media empire webcomic.
Well, it seems, I don't want to just say that the cons are coming up and becoming more and more of a thing, but even Rooster Teeth has their own convention now.
Yeah. Rooster Teeth has their own fan expo thing, which is also becoming pretty darn big.
Yeah, I think when I first heard it, I thought it'd just be something like it was because they used to have like Red versus Blue Toronto, where they'd get, I don't know, just kind of, it was almost like a get together. Yeah. And they'd have three or four of the Rooster Teeth guys come in, and Saturday there'd be like a panel, they show something, then you go to the bar, and then the next day there's like a picnic in the park.
Yeah.
And I thought it was something like that, but then like videos turn up later, and it was like this huge giant event, and like, wow.
Yeah, it really exploded. Like it just became this enormous. Like it really did. It started as like this little teeny thing that didn't really. That was just like a fan get together kind of deal, and eventually just turned into this massive, convention thing.
Well, if Bronies did it, why can't anyone else?
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I mean, like it's just kind of interesting to see. To see like kind of these things, like how these things like take off, because Firaxis Games, which is a company I really really love, they make Civilization, recently started doing their own little fan expo thing, and again they are starting it out as just a tiny little get together thing with like a group lunch where you can like talk to Sid Meier, and it's really small, like it's deliberately designed to be very small, like they have a limited number of tickets available. But it's like it started out in this tiny little thing, and there's a decent chance it'll end up turning into like what's happened with Rooster Teeth and PAX and stuff, where it just grows and grows and grows. And hello Crane, you weird person. Have I played the new Civ game? I have played the new Civ game. I like it a lot, except for the fact that for some reason it does not agree with my graphics card, and every 30 minutes it just crashes, and I have to reload it and keep playing, and it's just like, I want to love this game more than I do, but I'm held back by the fact that my computer hates it and makes it so I can't really binge on it the way I love to binge on Civ games. So,
Poor Duhad.
I know. I am sad pandas.
I feel your pain. My computer can't handle video games at all.
Yar. I might eventually need to upgrade my computer, not just because of the video games, but also because I need it for work-related things. And it's starting to kind of get to this point where it's like, when I built it, it was very, very fancy and powerful, and it's finally getting to the point where it's like, nope, I am no longer fancy or powerful by today's standards. You two sort of need to upgrade me eventually.
Well, you shouldn't have to upgrade that much.
Well, I need to upgrade the graphics card and probably give it a little bit more RAM, which, considering how much it overheats, probably also means improving the fan. Luckily, most of the core elements of the computer are still fine. The power supply is actually way bigger than it needs to be, which was deliberate because I intended to upgrade it from the start. So I should be able to, just change the graphics card, maybe improve the RAM, and definitely buy a better fan and be done with it. But that's still going to be $500 of stuff that I need to replace.
Yeah, but if you want to get in higher, maybe for overheating, if you got a new processor, that might help with the heating.
That actually is probably a good idea. I might do that instead then. And that might actually be a little bit cheaper than buying a really fancy fan.
The only thing is that now with the processors, because now probably they've gone 10 generations of processors since you got your computer.
Probably.
So there's a chance that your motherboard might need to be upgraded to be compatible.
Yeah, I'll probably have to sit down with an actual techie, of whom I know a fair few, and just go okay, here's what I want to do. What is it going to require? What parts of this computer do I have to Frankenstein, to make it a more powerful monster? But hopefully it won't be that destructively costly.
No, and then you can always find parts online cheaper than you can at a store.
Yeah. I mean, Newegg's usually got pretty good deals on individual bits.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it'll be fine. As I said, I doubt even a really thorough upgrading to get it up to where I need to be for work, which will require it to be pretty powerful. Even then, I kind of doubt it'll go above $500 worth of upgrades, which is a lot, but it's for a computer. That's not terrible, Yeah. Because especially, if I upgrade it right, I won't need to upgrade it again for another good number of years. And hey, it's Egghead. How you doing, Eggy? I actually met Egghead at this year's BronyCon. Fun times. And he's doing good. That's good. Nani, as you probably heard, Padsave met John Delancey, and apparently had a nice little conversation with him about potatoes. He and his,
yes, I heard that.
Yes, he and his better half. Or was it
your
other half?
I'm pretty sure she'd agree it's the better half.
Aye, fair enough. See, that's a very adorable way of referring to your significant other, though it always makes me kind of think that you're some sort of conjoined twin, and it's the good half and the evil half. Your wife is just sort of crawling out, is hanging off of your back and just being no, don't punch the orphans. That's the wrong thing to do.
Darn! I keep getting right and wrong mixed up.
It's alright, you've got a better half for that.
Well,
I feel like we're getting all X-Filesy now.
It's not not necessarily the good half, just the better half.
Yeah, okay, she still punches orphans occasionally, but significantly less than you do. Oh, hey, and Egghead got accepted into a private school.
Ooh, sweet.
Dang. 4K a year gone to education. Well, you know what? For a really fancy private school, 4K a year is not that bad.
I hope for your sake they have a decent dress code.
Oh goodness, yeah, the private.
That's always my problem with private schools.
Not all private schools have dress codes, but yeah, like when they do, it's so meh.
Military school.
Bro.
Military school for everybody.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Like I've
And I
read
want camo Lolita because otherwise I'm not interested.
Oh jeez. I'm not sure. Like maybe like some militaries, I'm sure that's theoretically possible.
Military Lolita is totally a sub-style, and I would totally wear it, but I would not look good in fatigues.
Dress code is whatever you want, but we have a military style gym. So like the gym is set up in a military style, or the dress code is military for the gymnasium. Either way makes sense, I suppose.
Not really. Our gyms are just like a regular gym. There's a track, there's weights, there's a pool, and when we go to the gym, it's shorts and a t-shirt and.
Well, yeah, but like, not all gyms have like a designated dress code, and some gyms are kind of crappy and do not have all those nice things you just mentioned. Oh, apparently they also call the gym teacher sergeant.
That sounds kind of fun, actually.
Yes. Interesting. I'm surprised it's sergeant, not drill sergeant. So apparently, like he's just like a former sergeant, and is just like, no, that is my title, and you will refer to me by my title.
Well, if you got a cool title like sergeant, why not?
Well, pretty much. I mean,
Make
like
people
hell,
use it.
even though I was just a private, I'd still insist everyone call me private, just because it's like whatever. That's right. I have a rank. It may not be a very good rank. It may be kind of like the lowest rank, but I don't care. That's private third class to you.
Besides, the civs don't know that it's the wrong class. It's all impressive to us.
There you go. What are you, Pat Save?
I am a corporal.
Oh man, that is actually kind of impressive. Corporal Pat Save.
And it's looking like I actually might get promoted here soon.
Oh man, what comes above corporal in your branch of the military?
In Canada, then it's a master corporal, but for an American equivalency, it's a sergeant.
All right, cool. Well, that's like master corporal sounds kind of awesome. Like your master corp. That is a wonderful, wonderful title.
I kind of think it's cool too.
Oh man, like that is going to be like the greatest. You should change your name to Master Corporal Pad Save.
I try not to flaunt the army stuff out of the army.
Oh, I know. It's very humble of you, but still, that is like.
Well, he is Canadian, remember?
True, but it's such a cool nickname. Like that is a nickname that is worthy of having.
I mean, and then if you want to shorten it, it's Master. That's way better than Sarge.
True.
Actually, what is it? Historically, Master Corporal wasn't really a rank. It was like within the unit, the senior corporal could be a Master Corporal. But then if you got posted, you wouldn't be a Master Corporal anymore, but you had to be Master Corporal before you could become a sergeant. So it was like this really convoluted thing. So because it wasn't an actual rank, it used to be written as M/Corporal. So then for shorthand, it was just known as M/.
Interesting. Which is interesting because I would have just shortened it down to MC, and then you can confuse people at parties. Oh man, you're MC.
Being the M/Corporal is just that's pretty funny.
It's pretty funny, but now I'm thinking of a new name for you, Pad Save. You are MC Pad Save. Throwing down all the discs.
All the wicked beats.
Yeah, you just go into any sort of party and just be like, "Hey guys, it's okay. I'm an MC."
Yeah, take out a vinyl player from my backpack, put on some massive cans, just.
Oh man!
And I also need a toque.
You are going to be
all times
the king of every party you go
And it has
to.
to have something Canadian on the front, like the Tim Hortons logo, or at least a maple leaf.
Well, yeah.
Just staple bottles, like big bottles of maple syrup all over your uniform.
Yeah. Just tag them in.
Yeah.
Might need to use like I can't think of words.
Oh, you need one of those
roofing nails.
things that are supposed to hold machine gun bullets, but fill it full of maple syrup instead.
Oh man, yes. And then you set up the light machine gun, and then you just start firing maple syrup everywhere, like at ballistic speeds. But of course, you fire in the air, else you'd hurt people. But just like spraying maple syrup everywhere, just dripping off the walls, the ceilings, clogging up the gun barrel, making the whole thing completely inoperable and damaging thousands of dollars worth of military equipment. But it will be the sickest party.
Well, see, if I'm going to be using the maple syrup, I gotta keep with the theme of the whole MC thing. I gotta have like the tubes in the the floor speakers, and every time the bass goes and
Yes.
the speakers are vibrating, it will shoot out maple syrup.
Yes. You do a whole Blue Band Group thing, like just like put the speakers on their side, cover the inside of it with plastic wrap or something, fill the speaker cups with maple syrup, and then as they play, it's just bouncing and like jittering around because it's like little pools of maple syrup that the music's being blasted through.
This sounds way better than a bass cannon.
It does. Oh man, vinyl scratch out the way. MC Pad Save, Canada's greatest DJ, is coming in.
Yeah. Now we just need the music to play.
Well, it'll play. It'll become muffled through all that syrup, but whatever. It's fine. It's fine.
But see, I gotta change things because I'm not I'm not traditional. I'm not standard. I gotta increase the treble and then
man,
minuscule the bass.
No bass, just all treble.
No. Well, see, now everybody is all bass
It's all
heavy.
about that bass, no trouble.
So I'm going to go all treble.
Oh man, that's going to be the most odd sounding music. It's going to have it's just going to like everything is going to feel super odd because you're not going to be feeling the heavy vibrations. You're just going to be feeling this constant odd feeling.
Oh yeah, but if you're already bouncing maple syrup everywhere, because I got to keep some bass to keep the maple syrup going. Yeah. But if it's too heavy on the bass, it's just going to be a giant mess. You need some kind of atmosphere.
Yeah, well, it's gonna be crazy sounding. That's gonna be the most atonally odd music, and it's gonna be great.
It's going to be the new thing, and you heard it here first.
Oh man, yeah, spread the word, people. Oh yeah, and a couple of things from the thing. Apparently, White Oak's brother has joined the army. Egg extraordinaire. He doesn't take 4 core subjects. Fair enough. White Oak is also saying, have you heard or seen the Rooster Teeth web series show RWBY?
It's pronounced Ruby.
Ruby. Okay, I have. I've seen bits of it. It is very pretty. Is my opinion. I have not watched enough of it to form a really strong opinion, except that it is pretty in its design.
I don't know. I like it. I've kind of liked how the art styles have changed slightly from the first to the second season. Because at first it was the startup, and then as you go through it, you end up getting you kind of change your style. You see it everywhere in comics, and yeah. Just kind of how they've added a bit more depth into all the scenes instead of having it almost this cardboard backdrop.
Yeah, it's interesting. I like the fact that Monty Ohm has that Rooster Teeth has given Monty Ohm a budget and the ability to really kind of just do his own thing, because the guy has been making really impressive digital animation for a very long time, basically with absolutely no getting very, very little respect from it and not really being able to do it as much as he wants to. And ever since he started doing the action scenes for later seasons of Red vs. Blue, I've been really hoping he'd get something like Ruby to work on, and I am very happy now that he has Ruby to work on, because again, the guy deserves absolutely everything he gets. He's put in his time, he has taken his lumps, and karma is smiling on him, which is wonderful.
I still haven't seen it because I don't keep up with pop culture because I'm bad like that.
He's fair.
I want to think that also a lot of the stuff is done by mocap as well.
Yeah, no, he does most of his own mocap. He is kind of ridiculous. Like they did some of the behind the scenes stuff for the later seasons of RVB, where they had him doing, where like he was doing animation and stuff, and like you can see him doing a lot of the actions that are seen in the show, and wow, the guy is the guy is fairly athletic for a like a digital artist and programmer. He is not afraid to go flipping around a bright green room.
That would be like the most fun, is like flipping around a bright green room.
Oh no, absolutely! It looks like a blast, but like gotta respect the guy's athleticism. Like he can do some of that stuff pretty insanely. There's no way I could do much more than flop on the ground and bang my shins into things. AK Extraordinaire is giving us his the complete rundown of his entire academic schedule. I'm not going to read the whole thing, partly because it's very long, and mostly because I don't want any potential stalkers to go like, oh, all right, well, let me just write that down. All right, perfect. That's where we'll find you at any given time. Wonderful. But yeah, it said airline mechanic. You fix planes. Cool. You are rebuilding a jet engine. Huh. That is a pretty complicated task, but I guess if you want to learn how to do it, no better way than to do it. Have any of you ever rebuilt a jet engine before?
Oh yeah,
No.
I do that all the time in my basement. I mean, it goes great with the dresses and my lifestyle.
Okay.
No, I don't build jet engines.
Oh, you had me going there. I was all like, man, Nani, building jet
Please,
air
my
cannons.
family hardly knows how to put together furniture.
IKEA, the bane of your existence.
Well, we don't have IKEA in Canada, as far as I know, but
Yeah, we do.
oh, do we? We don't here.
Okay, yeah, they're
It
in
must
like
be a Toronto thing.
there's some. I think there's one in Edmonton, one in Winnipeg. There has to be one in Toronto and Ottawa.
Not sure if I should open this or not. Egghead. I'm going to college to learn how to make video games. That's cool. What type of school are you going to? White Oak. Because I know there's a number of colleges that specialize in game design, and then there's also a lot of colleges that offer programs. Okay, I will open this link. I'm going to start it opening as a thing to decide, just to be safe. Scoobly doobly doo. Bloop. Okay, it is a picture of the cross section of a jet airplane. That definitely looks complicated. There are a lot of pieces and stuff. St. Cloud Tech. Cool. So are you going in? What type of field are you going into in game design? Are you going to be a graphic designer, a sound engineer, a writer? Writer.
Do I?
No, seriously, like the writers in the games industry are the saddest bunch of people, because they get, like, unless you're working at a company that really cares about the writing in their games, your job is thankless and they will ignore you.
Oh, writing is a thankless job, period.
Oh no, totally. I mean, like, in addition to it being thankless, you will get zero respect even from the people who would normally give you a little bit of respect from being a writer, like the people publishing your work.
It's
I
like
don't
doubly
know.
thankless.
I actually, I suppose this is kind of true, because I went and looked for a video game recently. I wanted to know who wrote one of my favorite video games. Scoured the internet. Could not find it. You know who gets credit for the game? The guy who did the music. Come on.
Yeah, see, that's kind of the thing. It's really.
But I've always thought that probably writing movies was the most thankless, because it's
True.
the actors who get all the awards.
Yeah, no, that's also definitely true. Like the writers in games and stuff. Writers in video games, movies, television generally get a very short end of the stick. It's actually very notable that Tina Fey, who is a fantastic actress, very funny lady, and also the writer, like a longtime writer, and the one of the head writers on SNL. Every single time she won an Academy Award or an Emmy or anything, she'd always take the time to just be like, "And thank you to the writers. No one else is gonna give you credit." But You have no idea how important these people are. They are really, really, really important.
She is an angel.
She is. She is a wonderful human being.
Because writers get nothing.
Yes, they do not. But strange how I also want to be a video game producer, says White Oak. That's not strange at all. Video game producers are pretty important. Honestly, the most important and one of the most brutal jobs in game design is being a programmer. Like, they are the most necessary part of the entire process, and also the people who generally tend to get the shortest end of the stick, because they, like, even more than the writers, they basically will spend, crazy weeks crunching, like number crunching and making a game. And then as soon as their job is done, they get fired and have to find new work, because very few companies keep permanent programming staffs because of how many people they need to hire to do a job, and the fact that they cannot keep all those people as permanent staffers and remain as a company without, like, going under. It sucks. It really sucks.
Creative professions in general are thankless.
Yeah.
So are technical professions.
Really, yeah, no, it's like becoming anything in, like, any sort of field is horrible. Like in, like, any of these fields is horrible. Like film, unless you become a really famous director or actor, just awful. Game design, like the games industry, legendarily terrible to work in. Television, it's it is a meat factory. They are the greatest jobs in the world if you manage to, like, become big name, but they are so dreadful to just be working in. It is terrible, and it is saddening, but it is also the way of the world.
Sigh.
Yeah. My college is going to a master airline mechanic and get my FAA license. Cool. I have no idea what it's like to be an airline mechanic. I imagine it's probably a fairly demanding and high-demand job, which is good. It's better to be in a high-demand area. White Oak is saying, I have many ideas for games already. I just need to learn how to make them. Then you don't want to become a designer. You want to be a programmer. If you really want to make games, like make your own ideas for games, do not become a game designer. Become a game programmer, because they are the people.
Become an indie dev.
Exactly. But if you want to be an indie dev, you either be a programmer or know a programmer, because there's a million devs out there with great ideas. There's a lot of devs out there with great ideas and no one to make the games, and they end up with buggy, awful games that do not work or never end up making anything. I would
kind of argue against that depending on the kind of game you make. I don't consider myself a programmer, keeping in mind that I can script, but there's enough tools out there that I have put games together.
True. But I'm like, if you're going to be really ambitious and, like, really kind of make, like, you want to make something that's going to be a big commercial success, I should say.
Yeah, if you really want to make a statement with your piece.
Yeah, like, if you want to make, like, a rent play game, or you want to make a kind of cool indie game that might end up on Steam for, like, $2 and, hopefully get a small cult following, that's very doable as a small-time designer. If you want to make a game that is going to be ambitious, and it's like an FPS, or it's got, like, a big story with cutscenes and characters, and has interesting gameplay mechanics, and is, like, the type of thing that most people think about when they're thinking, like, man, this is my dream project, you're going to need programmers. You're going to need...
Yeah, if you really want to work with custom battle tactics, then you need to at least learn Python.
Yes. It's you need to either be very familiar with that stuff yourself, or you need to have a friend, or better yet, a group of people who will be able to deal with that grunt work, because there is a lot of grunt work that needs doing. And
the ideal thing would be you need to make money to pay these people, because if they're your friends, you won't be friends by the time you're done.
No, and it's notable that most of the really big successful indie games that have come out and, like, really kind of shooken up the scene and changed things for, changed the world and stuff, have been games that have been made, like, by individual people. Those are games that have very, very, very simple mechanics, and the people making them are either programmers themselves, like Notch, or the guy who made Cade Story, or they are very small teams that are like one designer and then one super programmer. Because that is such an important, like it is such an underappreciated and so important part of the process of making games. It's I mean, like, yeah, there's plenty of places in the industry for creative people, but definitely, if you want to make your own games, if you want to make the ideas that you have, you're going to need programmers. You're not going to need designers as much as you're going to need programmers, preferably also an artist or two, unless you want to be working entirely in pixels. And a musician helps, though. You can license music from various places. Thanks for saying I was last doing a Lear 60 oil fuel change and got something. Got fuel in your mouth. That's not good. That's probably super bad.
Icky.
Yeah. So anyway, off the subject of game designing and planes for just a moment. Has anyone seen the film Interstellar?
I have not.
I have not either.
Is it a new film or an old film? Or?
It is a new film that just came out.
No.
Yeah, so no one did. Apparently, it is like the big new space movie, and I find it interesting that like it's like, oh man, it's so big, and everyone thinks it is the film. Or the Crane saying it sucks. And that's what I've been hearing. Like, I've been hearing a lot of people going like, it is a movie that is very pretty and has a lot of good performances by very good actors, and it is a terrible movie. Like, it has got a really bad script, and it is very dumb. I shall put no spoilers. Yeah. But yeah, it's just sort of like this weird thing where apparently it's getting like all these rave reviews from the newspapers and whatnot, but then like literally everyone I've talked to about it and every independent reviewer and stuff I've seen have essentially gone like, this movie is the closest thing that is ever, like, it is just like this movie that is almost good. Like, the acting is great, the visuals are fantastic. The director is, like this crazy, amazing director. But God, it's just this exposition dump with terrible writing and bizarre ideas. Like, the whole thing is about love at the end.
And this is why when people write good things, they deserve more credit.
Yes, writing is so important. If you don't have a good writer on board,
good actors do not save bad films.
Yeah, you end up with Interstellar. So, tip your writer. God knows they need it. Oh, lordy. Yeah. Oy vey. But yeah, no, it's and that's been a good thing recently. There's been a lot of kind of weird films coming out. Like the for a while we were kind of having a lot of very samey films, and then recently there's just been all these bizarre movies coming out, and like some of them are apparently really good. Like apparently John Wick is fantastic, is like a fantastic film, despite the fact that it is like, it looks like the silliest, dumbest Keanu Reeves starring film.
I've never heard of it, so
yeah. Well, that's kind of the weird thing. Is like Big Hero 6 is apparently really good. That
one I heard of.
Yeah, apparently it's very well made, and it's got great characters, and it's cute and it's fun. And then Interstellar has come out, and it's like, no, this is the film that looks like the type of film that would be really amazing, unlike these other films that look like they'd be terrible and are turning out to be really, really good. And this one's just bad, apparently. So odd.
I would definitely argue that Big Hero 6 looked awesome from the beginning because Baymax is adorable.
Okay, Baymax is pretty... Yeah, 1,000 Ways to Die in the West was apparently terrible. Yeah, the Big Hero 6, well, the thing is, it doesn't look necessarily bad, but it looks like kind of like a relatively traditional DreamWorksian kind of good but forgettable, children's CG animated film. But apparently, like, it's just really, really good. Like,
I want to go see it. I haven't yet, but
yeah, like it's like not like good. Like the thing is, like, it's not good in the. It is good, but for kids, it's not got like the whole like, little asterisk at the end of the thing, just saying like it is good for what it is. Apparently, it is just a good movie, which is great. I love that. I love hearing that sort of thing.
the fact that I've seen like prominent images and stuff featuring the girls going around makes me happy.
Oh yeah, no. Apparently, the female characters are great. Are really good and developed and stuff. And it's like, yay. These are things that I want.
I'm a little bored of the this is a character who is ethnic, so we put color in their hair thing, but
yeah. Well, apparently that part of that is like in this one it's very it's based on a Japanese or like
it's based on a comic book that was based on inspired by Japanese
manga or something. Yeah.
How do you say Sentai and stuff, like Power Rangers-y?
Yeah. So it's got a very kind of 90s Japan, lots of hair dye and gel and stuff like that inspired aesthetic. But yeah, whatever. Also, the main character is like Japanese or Japanese American or something, which is always
I know they're Asian characters.
Yeah, so that's always nice when it's like, yeah, okay, we decided to not make a movie about white people.
I think it's set in a place called San Fran, Tokyo.
Yeah, something like that.
Which is hilarious to me.
Who's gonna see the new Avengers movie? Everyone is. That is not
Everyone.
I won't be.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say everyone who is not like Nani, who doesn't like big dumb blockbuster action movies.
Ironically, the thing is, I read superhero comics and stuff now, but I cannot sit through one of those movies. They're so boring.
No, that's fine. That's fine. My friend Rory is the same way. She does not like like big dumb action blockbusters because she just ends up getting really bored by them. Which is totally cool. It's totally cool. Like some people do not get the action thrill ride. Like I actually don't like most action movies because I tend to get kind of bored halfway through them. I like films like The Avengers, and apparently John Wick falls into this thing of that's something I enjoy because there's fun characters and I like the characters, and so they make the action scene even if I don't necessarily get as excited for the action scenes as a lot of other people do. It's like, yay, characters I like, woo. But yeah, I don't know.
I suppose that's true. If they make one for that new Miss Marvel character, which I finally started reading, by the way, I would probably be able to sit through because awesome.
Yes.
Or maybe even Batman, which I've still never seen, but I like Batman.
Batman's pretty cool.
But I'm not crazy about Thor and Lantern and I don't even know who's in the Avengers anymore. I did, but I don't now.
It's all right. Honestly, I think you'd probably like Guardians of the Galaxy.
I want to see that. I do.
It is such a funny, cute movie. It is really just utterly enjoyable. Even if you don't like action movies,
I love Groot. He looks really adorable,
and
I like that there is a woman in it. Though I don't know how well that will turn out, but hey, there's
a
girl
girl
in it.
Pretty well. I've heard some people kind of go I wish this character had more screen time because she's a fantastic character. But it's it's kind of one of these things where it's the main complaints about the Leia character are not that she is used as a damsel in distress or a sexual object or anything like that. It's that there's just not enough of her. She's so good that they want more.
I can be totally okay with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that and there's Groot and there's a girl and there was another girl who was blue, which made me think of Asaris, which made me happy.
Yes.
So yeah, I gotta see it.
Is Duhad from the UK? No, Duhad is from Maine, which is part of the United States.
Today, none of us are from the UK, actually.
Yeah. Today, there's not. There's the Lightning Rabbit.
Sometimes I put an accent tone to fool you all.
Well, actually, it's the wrong title card. Whatever. But there's a Lightning Rabbit in this picture that is not the right title card, but he is from the Englands. But what was it? Oh yeah, no. One incredible thing about Guardians of the Galaxy is one of the most delightful characters in the entire film is the guy played by the professional wrestler. Like he is the type of character like like you look at the poster and stuff and you're like, okay, so there's the one character who's the big dumb muscle character thing who's going to be the most boring character because he's just some wrestler guy who they put in makeup. And then it's like, no, Drax the Destroyer, played by a professional wrestler, who's like the dumbest concept for a character, is hilarious and adorable. And it's like, oh my goodness, this guy, like, and it's not even just that he's a really well written character, though he is. It's that the professional wrestler has such a great comedic timing. It's like, oh, David Bautista, that's it. Like David Bautista, as much as you go into it going like, okay, so this is going to be like the one part of this fantastic cast that's probably going to be the least like interesting. No, he is just wonderful. He is a fantastic actor with an amazing comedic timing. And it's
well,
like,
I do love good comedic timing.
It's amazing. Like I can't even do him justice by like telling you some of his jokes and stuff because it's like the timing on them is just so good. You know, he's just got such a like a gloriously kind of dopey, you know, totally missing the point style of dry humor. That's can't even.
Sounds very Canadian.
One of the lines that keeps like ringing in my head is something about something going over your head. It was like, nothing goes over my head. My reflexes are too fast. I would catch it.
Yeah, it's like there's actually explaining about how he doesn't get it's like he doesn't get metaphors or jokes or sarcasm or anything because it's just like completely literal. And to like in response
headcanon is Asperger's coming up.
Well, this is great. It's just like don't bother trying to use like sarcasm or jokes on him or anything. Like he's just super literal. It'll just go straight over his head. And in response, being told that like sarcasm would go straight over his head is like, hey, like. Nothing goes over my head. I am too quick. I would catch it. It's like, oh, that's just, you giant teddy bear. I love you.
Kawaii.
Also, like I read an interview with him after the movie came out, and like he is a guy who, took this thing seriously. Like apparently he got the role as like the big dumb guy, and immediately went to his acting coach and was like, I want to practice this. I want to practice every day until we start shooting because I really want to put myself 100% into this project. I'm like, oh, that's dedication.
I like that.
That is a professional attitude. You big galoot. Such a good time. Such a good time.
You've convinced me. I will go watch it later.
It is a worthwhile experience.
That and the soundtrack is pretty good too.
Yes, the whole thing is just classic rock songs.
They had to use old music, right?
Yeah, the whole thing is just old is like classic rock songs from like the 80s.
Sweet.
Like the 70s and 80s. Which is great because it's all pulpy sci-fi over this crazy soundtrack.
I'm looking forward to the next one, and then continuing on with the soundtrack.
Yes.
I'm actually looking more forward for the Guardians of the Galaxy 2 for the soundtrack over the storyline and the characters.
Fair enough.
I'm all right with that. I'm a soundtrack junkie, too.
It's a pretty good soundtrack. Also, like, it's kind of one of those behind-the-scenes things that, like, relatively few people will care about, but, like, the guy who directed it is James Gunn, who is one of these guys who has been making wonderful, fantastic, goofy movies for like 2 decades without getting any recognition or respect. Like he has he had a cult following because he made like these really fun little silly movies, but just like this guy who he makes all these movies. He has this little group of actors who always work in the movies that he makes. He's very small scale, very funny, writes all his own scripts and stuff. And then he made this movie, and it was a mega success. And it's like, yes, James Gunn has finally made it. this guy who like has
Getting the recognition you deserve as a writer or whatever you do.
exactly. And like the thing is, a kind of fun thing with the movie is if you're a longtime fan of James Gunn, which I'm sure you're not, but you know, there's
I don't know movies. I'm sorry, people.
it's okay. But there's this kind of fun thing where if you watch the movie, you're like, oh man, it's him, and it's him, and it's him. Like all the silly little actors who have been in every James Gunn movie since he's been making like things out of his basement are all in the movie. Like Nathan Fillion voices a character in the film, and Michael Rooker is one of the lead antagonists. It's like the space pirate guy who the main character used to work for.
Yando.
Yes, and they have like one of his buddies is the evil, not the evil, but the kind of the jerk space cop guy. So it's like all these people who've just worked with him in all these movies, going all the way back to like, you know, the good old days of, you know, making films out of his basement, many of whom have gone on to become actual like big name actors in their own right, and some of whom have remained in total obscurity, and it doesn't matter. He has them all in on this big expensive.
I was gonna say, I think
film.
I know Nathan Fillion.
Yeah, Nathan Fillion. He was in Firefly. He's in the.
Well,
main
I know
character
him
of Castle.
from the like Canadian drama Castle, but yeah.
He's the main character of Castle. And like again, like he's this guy who has made it. He's a relatively big name dude, but it's like, no, you know, my buddy James Gunn wants me to be in another movie. I'm going to be in that movie, whether it's a silly little low budget indie film or a giant super big budget Marvel movie. Doesn't matter. You know, it's my buddy. I'm going to do it for my buddy.
Well, he needs to be in a Marvel movie. He did an excellent like I saw a picture of him once where he's got the
Captain Canada.
Yes.
Captain Canuck.
The Captain America shield thing doing a Captain Canada, and I'm like, yes, this needs to be done. Yes.
Yeah, no. Oh god, he wants to apparently. Like part of the reason why he only gives a voice performance apparently was that they have a plan to put him into a Marvel movie as an actual character. So they didn't want to have him like, you know, playing a really noticeable part and then have him come in later on as another another character.
The sweetness.
Yeah, and again, since James Gunn is doing a whole bunch of like the the space stuff now, it's entirely possible and very likely that he's going to be in as a character in one of those upcoming movies, which is gonna be good. AK is saying that on a serious note, he has dyslexia, which is fine. I have dyslexia.
Yep.
Yeah,
I can vouch for that. Duhad's awesome though.
I am. Thank you.
I'm firmly convinced it makes you brilliant-er.
I'm thoroughly convinced that it probably does something, apart from just making all of my words come out as odd and jumbled splashes of text whenever I try and write.
Well, your ability to math is impressive.
There are definitely people who are more mathy than I am. I am average at the mathies. Like I'm terrible at like long division stuff, but then it's just like, oh, simple algebra and stuff like blah, 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 blah. Then done.
Yeah, I can't divide, so
Yeah, I'm really good at like spatial math. Like when it comes to, like I can take a big pile of dice, which I do for like role playing stuff. I'll just like dump them out on the table, and I can just like within like 30 seconds have them all like calculated out by just essentially going like, okay, 4 6 4 6 4 5 5 3 7 do 10 10 10 10 10, 5 5 5 do. Okay, there you go.
And then we learned out Duhad was actually a sentient computer.
Only if I have like the physical like things. Like I have to, if it's all just like abstract numbers, it's like way slower. It's like, what's 5 times 5? 25. It's like 3 times 7 is 21. I'm doing it kind of slowly though. It's okay.
I'm the one who has to stop and think what 20 minus 7 is, so.
Well, that's fine. 20 minus 7 is 13.
Yeah, I know that.
It's like
I know it now.
Yeah, but it's like it takes a second.
I had to stop and think about that one yesterday. I'm like, wait, no. What is 20 minus 7? Wait, it's 13, right?
Dyslexia helps AK understand stuff he has to do to read over stuff, unlike people who just skim the text. Yeah, I have noticed that. Like, being dyslexic, it is, like, I've spent so much time, mastering how to kind of, like, get through written pieces in a timely fashion that I'm now just, like, super aware of everything I read. So it's, like, much easier for me to read something and just be like, okay, here are the salient points. Like, I don't skim, I read. So, that is useful. I don't know if that has to necessarily do with dyslexia or just the process of trying to get through dyslexia, like trying to get around dyslexia. But either way, it is a thing.
It's probably both, but it is something you can train.
Yeah. So, yeah, there you go. Interesting stuff. I think we all learned valuable lessons today about dyslexia and movies and video games. God damn you, phone! I hate you so much.
Inopportune timing.
Yeah, and conventions. And I think as we come to the end of the hour, I believe we're all richer and more developed human beings than when we started.
Yay!
All right, and White Oak is.
Are we just ending on the hour today then? Because
Yeah,
I thought we were going to do longer stuff.
No, we're probably gonna end on the hour today. I've been sick most of the week, and I'm recovered.
Oh, you poor baby!
Oh, it's all right. I'm mostly recovered, but it's like I'm not gonna push anything. I'm gonna
No, don't.
play it safe for the time being. Plus, I promised a couple people I'd do stuff with them afterwards, who have been busy up until recently. So it's like, white guy, that guy arrives at like the very end of the show. He's like, hey, it's me. It's some guy. Some guy is here.
You're too late.
What, do I keep forgetting this? I don't know. Well, like the show's been super inconsistent recently. Like we're finally getting, like last week we kind of.
I think that's my fault. Sorry.
It's all right. I run the show by myself last week, and it went actually okay.
I had Halloween, and then I had my first convention. So.
Oh man, we should have talked about that. Boofies. Well, next time.
I'm doing it again next year.
Awesome. All right. Well, next week we'll talk about your first convention. Because we did talk about Pad's first major convention this week. So hey, it'll be an ongoing series. The first time conventioners and their experiences.
The contacts.
You extended the stream. Wall. No, the stream goes from 4 to 5 these days, just because like it's a little easier on people, and because we got some complaints from. We also got complaints from some people who've been watching the stream, like watching the YouTube video versions afterwards, essentially going like, 2 hours is way too long to like devote to listening to the podcast. It works better for people if it's only an hour. And since, as I said, we do, I do a stream, I do the stream on Saturday that's like 4 or 5 hours long, so it's like, hey, if you didn't get a chance to see all of it today, there is plenty of makeup tomorrow. But anyway, we're, don't worry, some guy. This video will be up on the YouTubes soon enough, and you'll be able to catch everything you miss. Yes, indeed. Oh, Egghead, you silly people. All right, gents, ladies, fellas, others, etc., etc.,
and so forth,
and so on and so forth.
No, etc., etc., and so forth. It's a reference to The King and I.
Oh, snap! Well, there you go. At any rate, peoples of the streams, people upcoming on the YouTubes, people who have downloaded this as a podcast and are listening to it on their iPhones. Thank you all for joining us. We do deeply appreciate it. And I hope to see you all next week, also tomorrow, for more To the End.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.